What's up, y'all? Cam's Astrology, and we are the last of the Mohicans for the moon through houses, and moon and Taurus through the houses. It's 12th house, and this is like like Little House on the Prairie type of placement, or any, if you can think of a story of a family or a person who is in isolate, like they live in isolation. I started a Little House on the Prairie because I could be thinking of the wrong thing. I don't know, but it's this family in this house, this big ass house, or it's just like a farmhouse kind of looking thing. And like you look around and there's nothing or no other houses around, just grassland, just prairie, just a farmland, or somebody of people who live like the farm life is people who. Now I'm not saying if you had this then you live a farm life. I'm saying people, a group of family, people that a family that was raised in isolation and everything that comes with that. So that's the kind of energy, that's the kind of mentality that these people have. Um, their peace of mind is about being in isolation. It comes through when they're isolated. Um, the more even if you have a busy working life, for this person's mind to be at peace, they have to be in isolation. They have to meditate. They have to get the amount of sleep that they need. They have to release sorrow and loss, and that part of you that's victim. You need to release those things, but release sorrow, releasing sorrow. If you can release sorrow, if you can meditate, you can be isolated, all these things, that's where your peace of mind will come. That's where it will come from. Are the things that you can do, the areas that you can hit on. And to which those things are suffered, the peace of mind suffers. If you, for some reason, because moon from the 12th house aspects the sixth house of your daily routine, your daily life, the grind. You got to do this, that got to be done, the routine. If for some reason that is too overbearing, your moon suffers, your peace of mind suffers. So keep that in mind. So now Cancer is in the second house. So second house activities are coming to the 12th house to fulfill the 12th house. So like I said, that's why I use like that farm life, because second house is the house where it's your family. It's like your upbringing. Excuse me. It's your upbringing, and it happens in isolation. Your upbringing, or you feel isolated growing up. You feel, because it's the moon. You feel isolated growing up. You do your best. You do some of your best thinking in isolation. You do most of your thinking about isolation. If you're not there, you're thinking about being there. And self-esteem, second house. Self-esteem uh, comes from helping those less fortunate than we are. Soup kitchens, volunteering. You don't have to do that. Just helping somebody who might need that makes you feel better. That's so you heard these things before. Like you feel better about yourself because you help somebody else. That's somebody who has a second ruler, second lord, and the 12th house. And especially the feelings are affected because we're talking about moon here. You feel better, you think clearer, you think better about things the more you help people who are less fortunate. The more you can release sorrow and loss and I just negative energy, just negative people, negative energy, negative things that you've went through. When you can cry it out, right? You can cry and you can get it out. So, um, and then survival, another thing I wanted to hit on, a main thing of the second house, um, survival, the survival instinct is the second house. That part of us that says, okay, I have to eat, I have to have a certain amount of money in the bank. I have to use my resources on this physical earth, in this physical reality, to be physically secure. Those are all second house things. And the more you can meditate somehow, some way that influences your survival um, instinct, that survival in you, like because we're talking about mind here too. So especially we're talking about things like meditation that brings about, you need meditation to survive. You need sleep in order to survive. Your survival instinct comes through when you get in the right amount of sleep. Somehow involved with people who are downtrodden, have are victim somehow. Something about that interaction with those people or your own loss, your own sorrow, something about releasing those things. You'll derive from it in order to help you survive. Beautiful. So remember that. Take it by the horns. Take it for, um, make it work for you. Um, the emotions, like I said, they come. They're very, because we're still in Taurus. So this I definitely some like somebody who, also somebody who speaks, because second house is speech. You speak as if you, like, people hear the hurt in your voice when you speak. They hear the loss, they hear the sorrow, they hear the melancholy, they hear the downtrodden, they hear the oppression in your voice, the bullshit you've been through. It comes out in your voice. So it's good for a singer, that's good for somebody who writes songs, or just like somebody who writes. Um, but yeah, the emotions, you're very emotional. People don't really know about your emotional life because this is a house of isolation. That's where your emotions come out when you're isolated. Like, um, like for example, um, a music star, they might do a show, they might be pissed off the whole time, right? And they do the show, and once they get in the locker room, I'm tripping. Once they get behind, they close that door to their dressing room, they're alone, they're in solitude, then they start crying and shit. That's for somebody who has displacement like that. And So yeah, that's how the emotions come out. And we add, like I said, aspect of the sixth house to the mind needs sleep, the mind needs rest, the mind needs meditation, and also has 12th houses where you go to somewhere else, a distant land or some other worldly place. This is a house where people get, I'm talking about intoxication, where they feel like they escape reality. Escape reality, the 12th house. These people have to feel like they doing that. If you don't, then it's going to suffer in your work environment. It's going to suffer, like your daily goals are going to be affected. You won't, I mean, your daily habits, your daily routine, like I said, your work life is usually that. But if you don't have a work life, whatever your daily routine is, it'll be affected. Like something like you either won't be able to finish it or you just be lagging, you be sleeping, and you're like, I ain't doing that shit. Or at work, you ain't getting the right amount of sleep, it's going to show up at work. It's going to show up in your performance at work. It's paramount that you get the right amount of sleep. So, this is more of a basic, to me, it's a basic thing, because some of the ideas that I said are ones we hear often. Like you have to get the right amount of sleep so you can be able to perform, right? So you can do your job right. So it's not huge. It's not really too complicated to understand. Just I can't stress that enough though. Like you need to let that shit go. You need to release sorrow to be at peace in mind, and to have a nice stable social life, and to perform in your daily grind, right? Your daily, like I said, yeah, habits, and to be able to defeat, you know what I mean, those things that we have to daily defeat, like debt, right? Like co-workers. There's all six house things. Those, remember, moon aspect in the sixth house. Sorry, so blurry. I don't like this. But it's aspects of the sixth house. So just understand how important it is to let go of sorrow, to get your right amount of sleep. Why is it? There you go. To get the right amount of sleep. Because if you don't, your work life will suffer, man. Every day, the sixth house is one of my favorites because it shows you everything and everybody that's keeping you from getting to where you want to go. And with this placement, if you are not getting the right amount of rest, if you're not getting the right amount of isolation from the world, they're gonna have that, they want have a one up on you. Peace.